All right, now full transparency here, guys. I want you guys to learn from my mistake. So, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie, and as you know from the thumbnail, today I'll be installing a CTS Turbo urethane insert to the Dogbone mount on my Golf R. Now the reason I'm doing this is that, as you guys know, if you've been following the channel, a few months ago I tuned this car. It does have a stage 1 tune from Integrated Engineering as well as a DSG tune. And that has been completely wonderful. However, now that the car is making much more power than from factory, I'm actually feeling that the drivetrain does slop on hard shifts and spirited driving. You don't feel it at all in normal driving, but in spirited driving you absolutely notice it, that there is definitely some movement that wasn't happening when you were at stock power levels. So today we're going to take care of that slop by installing the mount. Now there's a lot of information on how to do this, but to help it along, let's look at the official stuff from Volkswagen, and for that I teamed up with the guys over at eManual online. Take a look. These guys take factory service manuals for over 2.5 million applications of automotive, like what I'm using here, marine, agricultural, motorcycle, etc. And they put it together into a PDF format so you can easily search for your subject and get your instructions, torque specs, tightening sequence, and any special tools you may need, all from the manufacturer's own instructions. Takes all the guesswork out of a project, which means you don't have to go online and ask somebody for what the torque spec is and hope that they actually know what they're talking about. They could be guessing and you'd never know. But at least here, you have the actual factory service manual and you get all the information from the manufacturer. This is pretty cool because in the beginning of every section, it'll actually tell you what special tools the manufacturer thinks that you should be using in order to accomplish whatever you're looking at here. Now what's really cool is that they actually generated a 22% off discount code that I'll share with you guys here on the screen, and I'll have it down in the description for you. But check out their website and look for your car. If you don't see your car listed, send them a quick email with your VIN number and they'll be able to see if they have a manual for you. So thank you eManual Online for linking up with me. And guys, please go and support the people that support us, right? With that said, let's get to work. All right guys, so here we are using the factory service manual on this. And in page 31,384, here we have the Mark 7 motor mount section. And you have all of them there. If you just come down a little bit to the next page, there is the tightening sequence and the torque specs for our pendulum mount that we're about to work on right now. All right, now full transparency here, guys. I want you guys to learn from my mistake. So if you ever look for these inserts, there's actually two types. There's type 1 and type 2. And I made the mistake of assuming that because I have a facelifted Mark 7, I have a Mark 7.5, that I should have type 2, which is this one here. It's a triangular-ish looking insert. You see that there. So a couple of weeks ago, I actually went on to install this and I came to realize that I got the wrong one because my 2018 has a type 1 mount on the subframe. So the information that's out on the internet that at a certain year they stopped using type 1 and went on to type 2, disregard that. Volkswagen kept using it and it was random. So you absolutely have to look to see what is in your individual car and order accordingly. This is the incorrect one that I got for my car. This was type 2 right here. And what's supposed to be is this here, big boy right here. So big urethane with prongs on it and a big washer on the bottom. So this is what we're going to be installing today. All right, so the first step is to take the factory bolt off, which is a 21 millimeter. I would recommend you use a big breaker bar. If you have an impact, even better. That should definitely take care of it. But if not, a big breaker bar, maybe even a cheater bar will suffice. It is extremely tight, so just be ready for that. Alright guys, just so you know what's going on. So in the subframe, there's actually two bushings that this motor mount insert goes through. A lower half and an upper half. And what happens sometimes when you are forcing this type of bushing into it, it'll sometimes knock them out of alignment and then you won't be able to get the bolt through. So the way you avoid that from happening is that now that the factory bolt is out, you're going to put in your new bolt in there. And it doesn't have to be tight. Just put it in there just enough so that the two halves stay together. The advantage is that this bolt head will go through the hole, so you can keep this there while you're inserting this all the way in. Now remember, we're not tightening it, we're just driving it down to keep the two halves in alignment. I did have to grab the oil pan and push the engine backward for it to align. I think now I got it. Now it's biting. Yeah. Okay, now we just have to do whatever we have to do to get that insert all the way in. Here we go. The big side is going to go in the back here, and the two little prongs go in the front. All right. And don't be surprised if you need to pull this back out and then add more grease to go back in. That may be the case. Man, only one side now. Come on. The back is going in smoothly, so is this one here. This one will not go. So, yeah, because you see it goes in and out, no problem, up until here. It just hits bottom right there. I needed to get past that. Okay. Okay, so it's not a matter of grease. I just have an obstruction on this side here, so I need to just pull it back and see what's going on and try it again. Get that out. I'm just gonna go in there with a flathead. There we go. It was just a little flap of the rubber of the mount that was keeping it from there. So I used a flathead to just push it through to rip it. And look at that. There we go. Okay, now we can keep going. Okay, I want to pull back the bolt now so we can go ahead and install the washer and all the stuff correctly. Okay, so the way it goes is bolt, little washer, big washer, CTS right there, logo. It's going to go downward like this. And then the spacer. There we go. I did have to push the engine back again. There we go. Now we're just going to drive it down. All right, now's the fun part, torquing it down. So remember, this is not the original bolt. This is an aftermarket bolt. And this one, I mean, CTS doesn't have the information out, so I'm going to go off of what they did on Shop DAP. All right, so there's a torque, and now we stretch the bolt 90 degrees. This one. Oh my God. Almost there, almost there. There we go. It is always scary when you go to stretch a bolt like this. But there it is, it's done now. All right, so now the work is done, next step is to go out for a drive. Now just keep in mind that when you're adding one of these mounts, you are adding noise, harshness, and vibration to the body. It's going to be more evident at cold start and when you put it in gear, especially reverse. But once it warms up, it should definitely get a lot better and go away with time, actually. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you'd know that on the Jetta, I actually put one of these same concept urethane bushings from ECS Tuning this time on the Jetta. And there was definitely a very noticeable increase in vibration and noise. However, with time, that does go away. And that is something that is common on these urethane bushing inserts, that with time, use, and age, they do kind of soften up and become more compliant. So like nowadays on the Jetta, the only time you know that there's even an insert in there is at cold start and you pop it in reverse. You do feel and hear a little bit more vibration than obviously stock. But once the engine warms up, there's no issue. You don't notice it, but you definitely feel the much crisper shifts. I expect that for the next few 100 miles, there might be more vibration and whatnot, but I'm okay with that because I know it will get better with use. Okay guys, we're back in the car and I'm about to do the first start. Let's see how much vibration is being added. Okay, so far I feel nothing additional, which is awesome. It feels normal here. Let's put it in reverse. It's in reverse right now. No vibration. Okay, wait, now that the RPMs dropped from cold start, it's sitting at about 900 RPM, 850-ish, and yes, I do feel vibration now on the floor, which is what I expected. But at least during the cold start itself, I felt nothing, which is funny because that's when you feel it most on the Jetta. So right now there's definitely vibration on the floor. If I give it gas, yeah, once you get the revs up, you feel nothing different. It's just there at idle, and AC is off right now. Let me see if I turn it on, if it makes a difference. So it raises the RPM a little bit, which smooths it all out. Okay. Okay, so that was normal driving with me shifting it. It felt solid. It felt zero movement. Okay, that was definitely worth it. There's no slap whatsoever when you go partial throttle, spirited driving partial throttle. So I imagine wide open throttle to be equally as good. Yeah, this was definitely worth it. It was very easy to do. So, all right, so let's fast forward to 6 weeks since I installed this insert. Let me tell you that it has not changed. It is exactly the same as it was during install. Now keep in mind, I don't drive all that much. In the 6 weeks, I've put maybe 300 miles on the car. So it's definitely not enough to really make a difference, but honestly, like the additional noise, harshness, and vibration from this insert are so minimal that to me, it doesn't bother me. So I am happy with how it is here. But you know, at least I want to try and give you guys a more of a long-term review of it. But again, I don't drive all that much, so I don't know how effective that would be. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a point of reference. I still love it, and it's performing great. So anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, please give me a like, consider subscribing. And like I always say, more projects for the Golf R and the Jetta. Thank you so much.